Hello, everyone. How is everyone doing, my darlings? I hope you all are doing well. I thought I would start off and open up this amazing live stream that we are going to have today with this photo of the woman who claimed she was going to modernize the monarchy, the woman who claimed that she was going to bring the monarchy into a better spotlight, the raggedy trollop who thought that she could do better than the Queen Elizabeth herself, the one who thought that she should have been at the top of the food chain and yet never was. This raggedy trollop who loves to do the squats and is showing us how she landed the dimwit Harry by spreading her legs and squatting down low, Meghan Markle and this nonsense about pregnancy. My darlings, if you have an issue with me laughing and giggling, please do exit this show right now because I am going to be laughing a lot. This raggedy trollop she's pushing the limits. She's testing the limits of the royal family, and this is what they get for not dealing with this nonsense about these phantom hostage children that aren't supposed to be within the line of succession. In my opinion, my darlings, this is basically Harry and Meghan's way of giving the royal family and everyone else a big old middle finger because number one, they're not getting their own way with security, right? They didn't get security paid for. Harry didn't get his way with the court case. Now, this is them saying to the public, look, idiots, we know that you know that we know that we didn't actually have these babies. We all know Meghan Markle did not birth these babies. The royal family knows that she did not give birth to these babies. But because she's worked her way, for some odd reason, the royal family are afraid to put a pin in this issue and face it for some odd reason. Meghan is throwing it in all their faces. And I gotta give Mia a big, like that. The credit goes out to her because I wasn't looking at that in that manner until they mentioned it on Twitter earlier today. When I was on Twitter, they made the point to say, hold on, let me pull up their Twitter here because I love to give credit where credit is due. Let me just pull it up here. And as you guys are coming into the chat, hello everyone. Welcome to tonight's mess. Welcome to this evening's mess. Welcome to this early morning mess. It all depends on what time zone you are in, but I'm so glad you guys could all make the time to join me here because we need to have a bit of a discussion. You know, me and my PhD in moon bumpology could not let this go. This is like Christmas in June for me. Let's be completely honest here. I am loving all of this. I am loving this completely. But Nina was right when she posted this and she said, no, Molly, this is an FU to all of us. She's showing us that she was not pregnant, but her kids are in the line of succession and we can't do ish about it. She's definitely right on this one. And yeah, this is definitely a big FU. We all know Meghan scours social media. We all know she does nothing but wants to always clap back at what people are saying about her. We've been saying we've never seen her squat with her legs open. We would have seen her in a hospital room. I'm sure she's been listening to my videos and trying to clap back at all this nonsense. But her clapbacks are just proving even more that this raggedy trollop, this wench, this absolute slow down gutter bucket scallywag was never pregnant. I can't believe the royal family allowed this and are still allowing this to go on. At what point do you say, you know what? You know, Charles, you're complicit with this. Hmm? At what point do you say, like, okay, this is yeah, you know exactly what's going down. Freya says if she's going down, she's going to take the RF with her. Yeah, she is definitely one of those that if her ship is sinking, she's going to sink everyone else's ship around her also. Everyone else is going to get dragged down into the mess. I'm telling you guys, Meghan and Harry are going and are trying to do something where people lose trust within the royal family. I know that the royal family are staying quiet because, yeah, Harry and Meghan are basically destroying their own reputations and making complete asses out of themselves by behaving like this. I completely get it. Meghan is completely spiraling out of control because the royal family aren't paying attention to her. However, on the other hand, the royal family are looking more and more complicit each day by not addressing the fact, or just Charles, all he has to do, just remove the children out of the line of succession and take Harry out also while you're at it. You don't have to make an announcement, no big song and dance about it. And now I feel like Harry and Meghan are doing this for, shits and giggles basically. So on the day that is supposed to be about Invisibet, Susan says, I'm beginning to think Charles is more than complicit, that he benefits from this somehow as a distraction from whatever he is doing globally. I completely agree with you also, Susan. And I feel like, in a way, Harry and Meghan's fan base are now also like saying, oh, you would never catch Kate doing anything like this. Well, yeah, because Catherine has class and she wouldn't be stretching out her orifice for everyone to see in public. No, thank you. It's not at all what goes on. So let's talk about this, okay? Because any woman who has been pregnant will know, will completely know that the first thing that happens when you get brought into a hospital room, when your contractions start, when your pains start, the first thing that happens when you get wheeled into your hospital room is what, ladies? All the ladies who have been pregnant, please drop it in the comment section. What is the very first thing you do when you get into that hospital room? You get handed a hospital gown and get told to remove everything. No panties, no bra, nothing. Take everything off, okay? And then from the moment you're in there, I remember from the moment I was in there, see, I got changed and got into bed. Yeah, you get changed, you get into a hospital gown, you get into bed, and what do? They check to see how far you are dilated, right? Some get an enema. I didn't get an enema because I was nervous, and I remember I didn't eat for a while leading up to then. But I was lucky there. I didn't have no enema, but yeah, you get changed into your hospital gown. They check to see how far you're dilated. I remember, oh my God, all of this is bringing back memories. I remember the pain was coming in like waves. It was coming in waves. And at first, I tried to get into a bathtub. I tried the water thing, but I just couldn't handle it. I just couldn't, the water was not helping. And then they said, well, bounce on a ball. Bouncing on a ball will help. But you're just in so much pain. You're just in so much pain, and you have to wait until you get to a certain level of dilation that they give you your what is it? Your God, watch. I'm starting to blank out and everything. Your epidural in your back. I remember getting the IV in my hands. You remember getting the IVs. All the women here remember getting IVs placed into their hand, right? But Meghan Markle here, being the most, I don't know, awkward person in the world, my darlings, for some odd reason, Meghan Markle got an IV placed into her wrist. I don't know about you, but I have never had an IV placed into my wrist before. like right here. It would either be on the inside or up on your arm area where the vein is, upper on your upper arm on the inside, or where most people get it and where it mostly is. Yes, and her IV hep is locked too. Trigger warning. Thank you, Katie. Thank you. I'll talk to you guys about this too. Sometimes this is how I had mine. This is how I had my line plucked in. It was in my hand. I had tape over top of it. And let me tell you, I bruised up right away because I'm one of those that bruises easily. And that took forever. And let me tell you, after 2-3 days of having an IV line in your hand starts to hurt. Like it hurts to move around too. This is wild. That's where mine was. Was yours guys on the top of your hand also? Look, many of you guys are saying it was on the back of your hand. It was on the back of your hand. But let me show you what we are talking about because, of course, Meghan Markle had to make the day that was supposed to be about Invisibet all about this freight. I don't know. I guess you want to call it a pregnancy. She shared this video. Okay, let me share it with you guys because what I had to do is that I made a copy of the video, but I clipped out the music so that you don't hear it, okay, and that I don't catch a copyright. So let me make it large here. Okay, now guys, watch this because this is absolutely ridiculous. Your belly is not moving like this. This is no, where okay, do you guys remember when you all were pregnant before you go in to give birth? I think it's about like a month or so. You go to the hospital and they do like a little orientation where they show you the rooms, they show you where you will be giving birth. This is you basically get um a tour of the maternity ward. You totally get a view of the maternity ward. And what they do is that you learn about the area. And what they also tell you is that when you come in, no jewelry or anything. And yet, this raggedy trollop who loves to lie about everything has an arm full of bracelets and things on herself. Now, let me remind you, this was during the pandemic lockdown, right? This was in 2021, allegedly. And this, to me, number one, where is her mask, right? Because everyone in a hospital at that time, they didn't care if you were giving birth or not. Everyone had to wear a mask at that time. It didn't matter who you were. She didn't have a mask on. To me, this just seems like, yeah, Meghan gained weight during lockdown, just like a whole bunch of other people did during that time. She just got hefty. That's it. Look, no one is moving like this. No one is bouncing around like this when they are pregnant, especially if you're trying to induce labor. Doesn't this remind you of the same exact moves Meghan did during the Beyonce nonsense? She posted that at 3 a.m. because you know why? Because William was out doing his thing with his engagement. That's what was going on. So, see, this is not a pregnant woman. This is straight up a middle finger in all of our faces. This is her who pays attention to all of our comments. I want to know if she borrowed one of Tyler Perry's prosthetics, one of his Medea costumes and shoved it under her. Like, what is this? What is this nonsense? Every time she tries to prove herself, she just further embarrasses herself. And not only does she embarrass herself, she is now embarrassing the royal family also. It's because she knows that the royal family isn't going to do anything. And this is her rubbing their face in it also. This is because they didn't get their way with the security at all. She's wearing a fetal monitor. Look, okay. I know a lot of people are saying she's wearing a fetal monitor underneath. And I remember fetal monitors, yes, they would get unclipped and then you could, because I have a slowed down image here, slowed down video. And the clip has been lightened up a bit so you can see this looks like, can I be completely honest what this looks like? This looks like they just took their garment bag that, when you get to the hospital, you put your oops, you put your outside clothes into a garment bag. It just looks like they just shoved, like, what is this? What is this? Your fetal monitor would be going straight across your belly. Like, what is all these weird bumps and dents? And this is absolutely ridiculous. Yes, she's digging herself a hole because she knows that the royal family isn't saying anything and that she is protected. She knows that this looks bad for them. Now, this has been slowed down. Let me continue playing it for you. Look at it. You can tell this is absolutely ridiculous. Let me just shut the hell up for a second. Can I just say what this reminds me of? This, to me, this is just my opinion. This, to me, is the behavior of two people who are waiting in the hospital for their surrogate to give birth to their child. And they went out and had a couple drinks because they were bored of standing around while their surrogate was in labor. They've come back, they're high as shit. They've probably smoked a couple joints before they walked into the hospital room. And now they're just acting goofy and just completely being tools and acting stupid and goofing off. This is what it's giving to me. This is completely fake. Yeah, probably we're snorting some Coca-Cola. Who knows? But this is what it's giving to me. This is the parents who have bought a child via surrogate and are taking the piss out of everyone. Because let me also point out something to you guys that I realized just before just before I came on here, because I was thinking back. And we all know that Meghan Markle claims that she has a freakish attention to detail, does she not? So, can someone please explain this to me? Because the baby mama dance, the song that they used in the background of this dance, when they claim this was taken when Meghan was in labor, so in 2021, June 4th, okay? So this dance song was released in 2021. However, it didn't become a TikTok trend or a song to be used in a TikTok trend until late 2023, early 2024. So unless Harry and Meghan have like a little bit of Miss Cleo in them and they can predict the future, how are they doing a dance in 2021 when it didn't even exist as a trend yet or anything? Can someone answer me that? I'm just wondering. I mean, that light bulb just happened to go off in my head right before went live, which is why it shows here on my Twitter page that this was literally posted not even an hour ago. Like less than an hour ago, I posted this on my timeline. I mean, this is the woman who claims that she has a freakish attention to detail, but yet this is a raggedy trollop who is definitely spiraling, losing control. Trust me, I wish we could all unsee what we saw today. Yeah, it's not a fetal monitor. It's not. It is too bulky for a fetal monitor. I don't believe it at all. This is absolutely ridiculous. At some point, this needs to, like, The truth about these two phantom hostage children needs to come to light. And then Meghan had also released these ridiculous photos of herself in, this is what clearly this isn't Meghan. This is some woman posing with a doll. I've never known a newborn baby to have a crease so deep in their arm like that, so far down their arm. And how does their right arm look like a left? Like, this is completely weird. That's a doll. This is BS. This is surrogate position, not newborn with a mother that just gave birth position. Okay. Any woman who has been in the position that has given birth can tell that this is all complete BS. Okay. Meghan Markle has so many moles. The strapped fetal monitor is circle as the standard. Yeah, my fetal monitor was circular. So I've never seen a square hexagon shaped fetal monitor. Okay. I've never seen anyone who was in labor to be twerking like that, because you are just in too much pain. And these are the individuals who claim that social media is dangerous. These are the individuals who claim that they do not watch or pay attention to social media. The ding dong can't even dance. I'm sorry, but does that not prove that the ding dong is not 43% Nigerian? Because let me tell you, Nigerians have dance moves. They can shake their booties like no other, okay? Meghan Markle cannot dance. She cannot. All they do is just lie. Everything about them are lies. Let me remind you what Harry wrote in his book, Spare, about the birth of Invisibet. Since we spoke about the birth of Archofficial in a few lives before, let's talk about this. So all the links are in the description box for you, my darlings. But let me remind you what Harry wrote about the birth of allegedly Invisibet. It was slightly easier this time, maybe because we were an ocean away from the chaos and stress. When the big day came, we were both surer, calmer, steadier. Yeah, of course, because there was no royal family. You didn't have to worry about anyone knowing about the surrogate giving birth. Yeah, of course, makes sense. What bliss, we said, not having to worry about timing, protocols, journalists at the front gate. We drove calmly, sanely to the hospital, where our bodyguards once again fed us. This time, they brought us burgers and fries from In-N-Out and fajitas from a local Mexican restaurant for Meg. We ate and then did the baby mama dance around the hospital room. Let me just stop right there, because anyone knows you would not be eating when you are giving birth, when you're about to give birth, nothing like that. You are not eating and eating and eating and eating, because if they have to give you medication, there could be the likelihood of you puking all over the place, and they don't want that. Or if you have to have an emergency C-section, you can't have a gut full of food in there. This is the biggest pile of BS. Kids Irrelevant said, "Who wants to eat? Bring on the ice chips." Look, I remember, because my pains were so bad, they were giving me a little bit of fentanyl as well through my IV drip in my hands. I remember I was drinking water because I was so dehydrated. I was drinking water, and within 2 seconds, that water was getting puked up into a bucket. That was happening for a good 2 hours, back to back to back to back to back, just because of like the laughing gas, which was irritating my throat, and all the medication that I was getting. It was crazy. Yes, they only let you have ice chips because of the risk of they have to put you under. I remember after my over 19 hours of being in labor, I was put under for an emergency C-section. Was you twerking? Hell no, I wasn't twerking. I was in so much pain. And the thing is that with Meghan and Harry allegedly recording that video, I went back and looked at my own videos from when I was at the hospital, and even the videos that my mom took when she was there. My mom was there at all times. The fact that Meghan didn't have Doria with her there at all, giving birth allegedly, is a huge red flag. But you can always hear in these videos the voices of the staff in the background. You could hear the beepings of the machine, or like if I was connected to a fetal heart monitor, you could hear the baby's heartbeat. It was crazy. Yeah, this was a very much a troll. Very much a troll. This was very much Meghan and Harry basically throwing a middle finger to everyone, saying, we read everything that you guys are saying, and this is us trying to rebut it, but not really. What are you going to do about it? This is very childish, but it's Meghan and Harry's brand. This is what the Sussexes are known for, being childish and immature and liars. So allegedly, after they ate and did the baby mama dance around the hospital room, now remember, this dance didn't exist at that time, like I just showed you. Nothing but joy and love in that room. Still, after many hours, Meg asked the doctors, when? Soon, we're close. This time, I didn't touch the laughing gas because there was none. Harry's such a dork. I was fully present. I was with Meg through every push. When the doctor said it was a matter of minutes, I told Meg that I wanted mine to be the first face our little girl saw. We knew we were having a daughter. Let me tell you, when babies are born, they can't see anything. Okay, it's blurry for them. They there's no eyesight for them for like the first couple days. Like, this guy is a complete moron. Meg nodded, squeezed my hand. I went and stood beside the doctor. We both crouched, and as if to pray, the doctor called out, the head is crowning. Crowning, I thought. Incredible. Let me tell you, I could not even want to see what was going on down there, okay? I could hardly doubt that Harry could be watching that. Not only is this little troll video going to be her undoing Marina, but all of Instagram, her being on Instagram, is going to be her whole undoing. That's what, okay? A scream, then a moment of pure liquid silence. It wasn't as something happens that the past and the future were suddenly one. It was that the past didn't matter and the future didn't exist. There was only this intense present, and then the doctor turned to me and shouted, now! I slid my hands under the tiny back and neck, gently but firmly, as I'd seen in films. I pulled our precious daughter from that world into this and cradled her just a moment, trying to smile at her to see her, but honestly, I couldn't see anything. I wanted to say, hello. I wanted to say, where have you come from? I wanted to say, is it better there? Is it peaceful? Are you frightened? Oh, sounds all like the ramblings of a drug-addicted moron, does it not? Don't be at all. All will be well. I'll keep you safe. I surrendered her to Meg, skin to skin, the nurse said. Yeah, okay. If the baby was born, we all know the doctor would have taken him. They would have rubbed them off. They would have made sure that their oxygen levels were okay. And then they do the whole skin to skin and everything. The baby sometimes doesn't come out crying right away. Sometimes it takes a couple smacks on the butt before this little baby starts going, wah, 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 wah. A baby, a real baby, does not come out of the vagina crying, okay? A real baby comes out and it's quiet, and then the baby starts crying after a few seconds, sometimes a few minutes. But that's what happens. Harry and Meghan have been watching too many Disney movies where they think the baby comes out right out of the vagine. Not true. That's not what happens, okay? Not at all. And the fact that Harry would not be the one who would be telling them or grabbing the baby or anything at all. He would be wearing a hospital gown. He would have a mask on his face. He would have his head covered. He would have had to scrubbed up. Yeah, what about her preeclampsia like she claimed she had? What about her 65 pounds she claimed she gained? It's all a bunch of BS. Gypsy Woman says, I really wish I could send Molly a super sticker, but being on a fixed income, I'm definitely poor, but I love her and always hit that like button. And Gypsy Woman, that's all that matters to me. As long as you are here, as long as you enjoy the show, as long as you hit the like button, that is all that makes me happy, to be honest. At the end of the day, the super chats and super stickers are appreciated, but to be honest, I know things are tough for everyone across the board. So as long as you hit the like button and just enjoy your time here, that's what makes me happy. And that's what should really be the whole point of this community here. But listen, Meghan Markle is a twat. 100% she's a complete wanker. But let me continue on with this bullshit story. Harry claims that he slid his hands under the tiny back and neck, gently but firmly, as I'd seen in the films. Did I just not say this? I should have just kept reading. Mole, you should have just kept reading. See, he's laying it out like what they've seen in the freaking movies, okay? That's it. Oh, kids are relevant. That's really sweet and kind of you on behalf of Gypsy Woman. That's so kind of you. Thank you. Thank you. But yeah, this is Harry talking about what he's seen in a movie and just trying to say that this is how Meghan gave birth. He slid his hands under the tiny back and neck. I pulled our precious daughter from that world into this. I surrendered her to Meg, skin to skin, the nurse said. Later, after we brought her home, after we settled into all the new rhythms of a family of four, Meg and I were skin to skin. And she said, I've never been more in love with you than in that moment. Really? Really, she jotted some thoughts in a kind of journal which she shared. I read them as a love poem. I read them as a testament, a renewal of our vows. I read them as a citation, a remembrance, a proclamation. I read them as a decree. She said, that was everything. She said, that is a man. My love, she said, that is not a spare. Oh my God, get the barf bucket. But guys, what do we do with this? What do we do with this ridiculous nonsense? These two rejects keep on making complete fools out of themselves. And Gray Voice, you are right. No physician would ever allow hazmat near a newborn without scrubbing up, then getting into a sterile gown, especially with no mask. And let me remind you that this was during the pandemic, where even some hospitals were not allowing the birthing woman's partner, their spouse, into the room, into the delivery room if they needed a C-section. Are they expecting us to forget this? Many of the hospitals were not allowing even the partner in the room with their spouse when they were doing an emergency C-section. Like, am I the only, like, am I losing my marbles here? Oh, you guys are so sweet. Thank you, Megan's toe. Goodness gracious, that photograph. And Leslie Warren, you are so sweet, says, on behalf of Gypsy and others who are enjoying bringing this content, you guys, I absolutely love you all. Thank you so much. That's very sweet of you. But yeah, you guys remember this, right? During the pandemic, even partners weren't allowed. I remember one of my friends was giving birth during that time, and her spouse wasn't even allowed when her body started to go into shock, and they had to take her in for emergency surgery to get the baby out. This is absolutely craziness. Yeah, and remember when people were passing? Yeah, 100%. Look, guys, I love you guys the most. Look, people say I'm crazy for bringing this up, for mentioning this, but you know what? You know what? You know what? You know what? I know that I just repeated myself 3 times. I just wanted to say to all of those who called me crazy, to every single person who called me a whack job, a hater, a psycho, even Megxit accounts who were staying away from me because they were like, oh, you're crazy for talking about moon bumps. I just wanted to say that I was right. And I'm glad that I kept this going on for basically Wally and Ashley. This is whose legacy I feel like I'm keeping on carrying on by keeping this alive, by having been the one to constantly ask the questions and keep this in the forefront, being the YouTube account who was always talking about the moon bumps, even when accounts were telling me, move on, it's not important, you should talk about something else. Nuh-uh, I'm not doing this. I'm not doing that at all. Everyone could see that this was BS from the very beginning. And I am so glad, for Ashley's sake, rest her soul in peace, and for Wally's sake, who got bullied off of Twitter and all of social media because of Christopher Boozy. And well, I think some nefarious other individual set her up, but that's, well, we'll get into that another day when I want to be messy. But this is for them. I am glad that I have kept this story alive for them. And if it's not for them, we are going to get to the bottom of this. For them, I'm going to get to the answer to this. We are going to get the answer of all of this by the end, like within the next 5-7 years, I hope. Okay? Other creators were too scared to touch the subject. Not only that, but other creators were rude too. Like, oh, I don't believe any such thing. They would like make snide remarks like, come on, I know what you're saying, okay? Like, you think I'm cuckoo, but look, now you're talking about it too, all right? Now you're mentioning it too. El stupido. Wally, our OG moon bump hound, until Molly came around. I got to tell you that it was Ashley who mentioned it, and then it was Wally who also brought it up too. But at the very, very beginning, it was Ashley who did talk about it the most. And Wally did talk about it too. But yeah, Wally did get that shit with Boozy was nuts. And after that, she just stepped back from social media because it was crazy. But anyways, my darlings, who believes that Meghan has now definitely, you know, really dug her grave here with doing this? This is someone who should have never been allowed into the royal family. This is someone who takes every single day is showing why Harry doesn't deserve any kind of security. Let me show you a photo before I get the hell out of here. I lightened up this photo, okay? All I did was enhance the brightness. I don't know about you, but this looks like a garbage bag stuffed with cottage cheese and a couple of whatnots and stuffed under a dress. That is not a pregnant belly bump, all right? That is not a pregnant belly at all. I think I've shown you guys my own pregnant belly when my little one was in there moving around. I've shown that to you guys before, poking at it and the way that it poked back. And that thing is rock hard solid, but it definitely is not lumpy and bumpy like a garbage bag filled with concrete and rocks thrown under a dress, okay? This, like I said, looks like two junkies who are trying to take the piss out of us, who know that we know that they are lying about this. But because the royal family won't come out and remove their phantom hostage children out of the line of succession where they don't belong, where they really have no place in, they are just pushing the limits. They're testing the limits. Meghan knows that if the royal family comes and says something, then she'll just be like, well, they were part of it. they kept going along with it. And like I said, the longer the royal family allow this to go on, the worse it looks for them, the more complicit they appear to be. It's like they were in on the shenanigans. Because why? Why? I don't get it. How do you allow a child that you've never seen, born in the USA, allegedly? You know what? Meghan doing this on Invisibet's birthday just makes me even more convinced that there is no Invisibet at all. There is none. There's no Invisibet. You made Invisibet's birthday all about your fake belly. That's it. I don't believe that there is. Tanya, thank you, says 100% Molly, number one for the truth behind the moon bump. Look, I just feel like I'm keeping Ashley and Wally's legacy. I got to give them credit because it's for them I'm doing this too. And to get to the bottom of the truth. I have always lived in the Commonwealth. I was brought up in a Commonwealth country until I moved recently. And I think that we all deserve answers for this obvious scam. I think she puts out all the bunch of bed linen under that fake belly. It honestly looks like all of the mats that you put under you just in case if you have leakage, because this is absolutely ridiculous. Mole always gives credit where credit is due. It always. It only takes 2 seconds. Bingo. Omeka says, I think they're real. I just think Meghan is making a new show. I don't know, man. This is a bunch of BS, okay? Any woman who is pregnant can definitely say that this is not a pregnant belly. They did not move in this manner when they were in labor, when they were giving birth, or anything like that. And this raggedy broad is about to be honored by the LA Museum. Right? This is absolutely ridiculous. Are you kidding? Patrons that were giving money and donating money to the LA Museum should pull their funding. This looks absolutely ridiculous. Let me finish off with this, ladies and gentlemen. Did you, pregnant women all around, did you move like this when you were in labor? Because like I said, this looks like two individuals who were tired of waiting around for the surrogate to give birth and are just waiting in the next bedroom or in the next room for the surrogate to pop out their money bag, and they're fooling around, they're drunk as shit, and they're just acting stupid. Because these are the same moves that they were doing during the Beyonce concert. Remember when Harry was wearing the women's jacket when they were dressed in silver? Not the last one, the very first time they went to the concert with Cell Block 6 Doria. No pregnant woman moves like this. This is a bunch of BS, and I think Meghan has definitely taken it a bit too far at this point. This is ridiculous. Like, especially who's bouncing like this, and your belly is connected to you. This is ridiculous. It's not at stop saying that, not everything. Oh, to me, this is an AI. They definitely took this video inside of the hospital room, because if you look up Santa Barbara Cottage Hospital, they do have multiple different, here, let me pull it up for you guys right now. Okay. Let me pull it up here. Hold on. Oh, I can't type properly. Here we go. Let me pull up the Santa Barbara Hospital birthing rooms. So these are, if you do a quick and easy Google search, look, I wish I were a fly on the wall inside the palaces right now. Okay, that's what I wish. Look, it could be one of these rooms easily. Right? You see, it's got the same. There are different looking rooms at the birthing center at the Santa Barbara Birth Center. Okay. They have private rooms like this. They have dual rooms like this, right? The maternity ward here. this is where they claim that they gave birth, but I don't know. But like I said, I don't believe it's AI at all. I think that, does Harry actually think that's sexy? Well, Harry could be 3 sheets to the wind. Did you see the way he was prancing around too? Like basically waving his crotch into the camera. These two are a bunch of idiots. Had wood panels. The photo I showed you had wood panels also, my dear. Let me go back and show it to you again. Let me just pull it up again. I took it down, but here we go. See, this is one of the rooms here where it has the wood panels. Share right here. Whoops, it went to a different screen. See, one of the wood panel. If you just type in Santa Barbara Cottage Hospital birthing rooms, then you'll see it right there. You'll get definitely lots of footages. And there you go. These two are definitely a bunch of idiots. Yeah. They're taunting William. It's MM saying of what you gonna do. Terrible things to do to your daughter on her birthday. But doesn't this just further cement that there is no Invisibet? Is there really? I don't believe it. No, anyone who says that this is an AI video needs to give their head a shake. I know some people like to claim everything is AI these days. Everything is not AI, okay? We need to stop that. That's a very dangerous narrative. And yeah, I don't believe Harry and Meghan even have any children in their custody, to be completely honest. I don't believe it at all, because if there were, maybe CPS would have been called. Their neighbors would have been like, there would have been sighting of them with their children. People in LA see random celebrities. Myself, I saw a couple celebrities the other day when I was down at the Grove grabbing some lunch and some candy from Dylan's candy shop right down there. I mean, you see them around and nobody cares. They just walk around and nobody's harassing them. No one's bothering them. But not Harry and Meghan. No one's ever seen them with kids. Even when they've done their interviews with Oprah and everyone, no one's seen kids around them. So yeah, I hope the royal family put a pin in this. I hope that Charles grows a pair and just quietly remove the phantom children. Remove Harry too, because he's in on this scam also. He is complicit in this just as much as Meghan is. But anyways, let me see what you guys are saying, and then I'm going to get the hell out of here, because we are going to have a lot of fun tomorrow as well too, because it is Christmas in June for Mole. Meghan just dropped a wonderful present in my lap, and I am going to drag this raggedy trollop, this low-class scallywag, for absolute filth, okay? This broad deserves to be dragged for the liar that she is. She is diabolical, truly is. Yeah, truly. Yeah, this was her yacht mating call. This was her move. This was her stance, her squats that she likes to do so much. The late queen is rolling in her grave, God rest her soul. I read a comment somewhere saying that someone had written that they were glad that the queen wasn't around to witness this, because she's probably rolling so hard in her grave she could probably power all of England or something. Like, it was, yeah. It's horrible. It's a bad look for the royal family. It looks terrible. Dr. Jules, thank you, my darling, says has no nuts, needs to watch different films. He has no clue. He definitely doesn't. If you think that a baby comes out of the vagine, or when it is born via C-section, it comes out, no, it's not. That's not what happens. It always takes a little bit, and then it gets its first couple breaths of air, and it and then it starts crying, and then you hear its cries. It's not right away. Megan's toe, thank you, darling, says that room's only purpose for them is as a waiting room. If she was really giving birth, she would be in a suite, 100%. You know, she would have been in a private suite with all the bells and whistles. Hell, I'm not even loaded, and I had my own private room too. That's for sure. Oh, Grandma Cherie, I missed you here, says Raggedy Trollop is a big ding-dong. big ding dong for sure. And I think this trollop, this lying scallywag, took it a little bit too far this time. Okay, because everyone is talking about it, even mainstream media, even Twitter like accounts that don't care about Harry and Meghan are discussing it, are even saying that it's like she wants us to all know she wasn't pregnant. Yeah, it's crazy. We got to talk about this more tomorrow. So I hope you guys join me tomorrow for more dragging of Meghan. This is absolute garbage that she has put out, and this woman is going to get dragged for absolute filth. I can't believe this raggedy harlot really thought that she was going to be the person who could modernize the monarchy. I can't believe this scallywag thought that she could be better than the queen. Yeah, all right, bitch. In your dreams. Anyways, my darlings, TJ Post, I would never block you. Never. I'm not the type to block people. Everyone's opinions are welcome here. I love having discussions with everyone. I would never block, unless if you started getting like really foul and racist, then that's a whole different line. But you're good here. We love having your company here. You are definitely welcome here. Everyone's welcome. Anyways, my darlings, I hope you all are great. I hope you all enjoyed this show. I hope you all enjoyed the comment section and the chat, because you guys keep it cool and messy as always. Thank you to my amazing moderators for being here. And thank you to all of you who sent a super chat and a super sticker. Make sure you hit that like button and thank the mods on your way out. Y'all, make sure you're following me so you don't miss out on any more of this nonsense, because ding, 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 it is Christmas for Molly, and I am going to be dragging this for a while. I will catch you all in the next one. I hope you all have a lovely day wherever you are. Toodaloo, darlings. Bye.